Alright, what is up, my wriggling Chilean sea basses? Slop here. Back at it again, and you already know what's going on, bro. So, to say that Season 3 of the finals has been contentious would be a bit of an understatement. So basically, ever since the moment that the Season 4 trailer dropped, and they announced that Terminal Attack was taking over as the new ranked mode, the vast majority of the player base took it upon themselves to just start crying, shitting, throwing up, and complaining on every social media, every Discord, anywhere that this game is discussed in any capacity. I'm not trying to justify the perspective of either Embark nor the community as a whole, because I think both are guilty of partaking in some pretty questionable decisions. All this basically just to say that Season 4 started out pretty dang rough, I'm not gonna lie, but I was hopeful for what they had to cook, and now that we're nearing the end of Season 4, they definitely did not cook, but we're gonna get into that. As somebody who created this channel completely because of this game and has dedicated most of their free time to this game and creating content surrounding this game for the past several months, I feel like I sort of have to give my perspective on the current state of the game and basically the things I think that they need to do to turn around and save the game going forward. So, without further ado, let's run that hoe. Alright, bruh, time to address the elephant in the room. Ranked mode. So if you somehow weren't aware or you've forgotten by now, the finals is actually built around the game mode of Cash Out, which is its own unique spin on similar to kind of like a search and destroy team-based game, kind of like Rainbow Six or CSGO, but it's its own unique thing. Cash Out was the core game mode, and it was the ranked mode for the first 2 seasons. But with Season 3, they announced that they were changing the ranked mode to be a Terminal Attack game, which was a limited time mode introduced at the end of Season 2, which is quite literally CSGO copy and paste. Obviously, most hardcore fans at the time were very vocal and upset with this change, justifiably so. But I personally was pretty hesitant to start dogging on them because their justification was super reasonable and valid. They basically said that they were taking Cash Out of ranked and putting it in the new World Tour like section of the game to be able to experiment with certain changes and try different rules and stuff to try to make the game more balanced and fair. So me personally, I was like, you know what, on paper, that sounds totally fair. Like, yeah, there's definitely some changes that could be seen in the Cash Out mode, and I think most of us would agree that certain things, maybe like team third party stuff like that, could have used a little bit of rule changes to help alleviate or address. So yeah, basically I defended Embark when this was all going on before Season 3 dropped. I was like, y'all need to chill. How about we at least play it and we try out the changes they're talking about, and then we'll bitch at them then if it still sucks. But then what ended up happening is the second Season 3 drops, they just go on like dark mode, and they apparently in Sweden there's something about like a 30-day mandatory vacation or something that caused them to stop updating the game. Something like that. That's what people are claiming. I don't know. But yeah, we basically went into this big controversial change with the mindset of, or at least I had the mindset of, hold up guys, let them cook. Like, it seems a little rough now, but just wait. They're going to, like, prove all you wrong with all these crazy changes that they're going to do with the World Tour. And then nothing happened. So once Season 3 dropped, we learned that there would be 8 different stops on the World Tour throughout the next 16 weeks or whatever it is, because there's a new World Tour stop every 2 weeks. And I know what you're thinking, Slop. I bet they were changing all sorts of rules and having all sorts of experimental game modes in that World Tour for all 8 weeks to really utilize this time that they were taking the ranked mode out to experiment with it. So stop 1 of the World Tour starts, and it's just Cash Out from Season 1 and 2, but in a different section. But, you know, that's fine, whatever. We'll just wait till next week, and then we'll get those cool rule changes we're waiting for. So 2 full weeks go by. We are now on the second stop of the World Tour, and it is Cash Out again with no rule changes. I know what you're thinking, bro. Slop, chill out. Just wait 2 more weeks. Hold your britches. Calm down. 2 weeks later, stop 3 of the World Tour. 1 month into the season. 4 weeks, 1 full month. No rule change. 2 more weeks. Stop 4 on the World Tour. Halfway through the season. 2 months in. 2 full months. 8 weeks. Same rules. So let me get this straight. You removed the core game mode and alienated the vast majority of your core players in attempts to be able to experiment with like temporary changes, and you've now gone 2 months, half of the full season, half of the time you could have utilized, and you haven't done one experimental growth. Nothing. There literally not one world tour stop has been any different than the rest. There's not been like one thing that justifies this happening. But there's a silver lining. 2 weeks later, only 2.5 months into this season, everyone hated. Then they decided, let's remove team wipes. Sure. Which, I mean, yeah, that's W. Like, this is the type of experimental stuff that will help the game and is what we thought was going to be happening in the World Tour mode. My only question, personally, is why did it take 2.5 months to do that? Then for the sixth stop on the tour, if I remember correctly, they reduced the respawn time by half. I think it was 30 seconds. Then they dropped it to 15, which, again, like, yeah, I mean, makes sense. Good change to test out in a temporary experimental mode. But, like, why'd you waste half a season before starting any of this? And, like, why'd you wait until most people who hadn't quit the game already did at that point? Because, like, what are we waiting around here for, you know? Nobody plays the finals to play Terminal Attack. Like, it's... And, like, I enjoy the mode. It's pretty fun. But, like, if you want to play that, you'd probably just play something like CSGO that's better suited for that type of game mode. Like, the finals wasn't built with search and destroy, terminal attack in mind. That's just, like, not the identity of this game. So I don't know why they're doing what they're doing, frankly. Basically, to summarize on this point, I didn't think they had fumbled when they had announced that they were moving terminal attack to ranked and doing all this. But then the way that they executed it, they, without a doubt, fumbled. They didn't do literally anything. And if it does happen to be the case that they were all, like, on vacation or something, well, I mean, like, yeah, that could justify it a little bit. But, like, first of all, be more transparent. Second of all, don't tell people we're doing this to experiment with a mode and then not experiment with it. Not gonna lie, I don't really think I made a point there, but I feel like me outlining that situation kind of makes the point in itself. Basically all that just to say, if you want people to come back to the game, in my opinion, bring back ranked and either don't make promises or deliver on them when you're supposed to and not 2.5 months later. I can only speak from my perspective, and the experimental stuff that they were saying they were going to do, I was all for, and I was like, y'all need to calm down on all this hate. But then the way that they executed it, I mean, you can't really do anything but hate, frankly. All right, bro, now that horse shit's out the way, we can get into a little bit more fun stuff. What else does the finals need in Season 4 to be successful? First things first, I've been advocating for this for like 6 months now, since it was added to the game at all. Power Shift needs a ranked mode, bruh. You can either have separate ranked modes for like each mode and have maybe like separate rewards, like a different color of gun or different guns in a certain color depending on which mode that you progress in ranked, or you could just do it like Fortnite and have it so no matter what ranked mode you're playing, it's all just like the same thing. So like if you get to diamond in either cash out, terminal attack, or power shift, or if they get rid of terminal attack, just cash out or power shift. If you get to diamond in either of those, then you get whatever that season's diamond gun is. Or you could have 2 different diamond guns to try and get people to play even more, but that seems a little bit less realistic, frankly. Second thing the finals needs to do for Season 4 is make the Emerald shit in the World Tour available from the beginning of the season. I think, honestly, the perception of the World Tour would have been so monumentally different if they would have been transparent about this. Because if you didn't know, they didn't announce the like Emerald grind or the rewards or the existence of it until the 5th stop on the World Tour, halfway through the season. Like, what? Everybody had already been dogging on World Tour for being like a trash version of ranked without rewards for that entire 2-month period, and now you're like, oh yeah, no, it had ranked rewards the whole time, or not ranked rewards, but just rewards the whole time. But we wanted to wait until you all hated this game to tell you that, which Like, it's just stupid, bro. Put all your cards down on the table. The Emerald rewards are super dope, and I probably would have been grinding a lot more World... I definitely would have been grinding a lot more World Tour from the beginning of the season if I had known that those existed in any capacity, because I'm more of a power shift fan. Like, when I'm just playing casually, I prefer to just dick around in some power shift. But also, speaking of the emerald weapons, you gotta reduce how long it takes to get to those, bro. Like, you need to get 75 wins to get to emerald 1. Brother, I have quite literally created a YouTube channel for this game and dedicate the vast majority of all of my free time to this game. And even for me, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that bullshit. Are you kidding me? 75 wins, bruh? Ain't no damn way. Are you kidding me? No. Like, it's one thing if it's the progression like it is from up until that point, because if you didn't know, for the first bronze, silver, and gold of World Tour, if you like progress at all, or you like get to the second round, or you get second place, you still progress through the World Tour. So if you get second place in a tournament, you'll still get like a good amount of progression on your World Tour battle pass, or whatever the hell it is. But for once you get to Emerald, literally you have to win, or it was a completely meaningless 40 minutes of your life. Like, if you get second place in a tournament, that means literally nothing. You need to be the first place winner, otherwise there's no progress towards the Emerald Awards, which is fine if you want to do it that way, but it's just like, you got to realize how unattainable that is and how the casual players are going to see it. Like, it's just not realistic in my opinion. Also, I think at this point, it's pretty much mandatory that we need a TDM or some sort of casual mode added to this game. I think that's the biggest thing it's missing. There's a whole lot of people that don't want to learn the meta of World Tour or learn how to grind Terminal Attack and just want to, like, shit around on some TDM or maybe even something like Prop Hunt. Probably not Prop Hunt, but, like, well, maybe the Prop Hunt. I guess they could do that, but something, like, similar to that, like a casual fun game, just for when you're not always trying to, like, absolutely bust your chops. And sometimes you just want to shit around, you know? So they got to add either, like, TDM or something casual, simply put. Honestly, that's one of the few things that could really bring, like, a huge revival boost to this game, would be adding, like, a Call of Duty TDM mode, or, I hate to say this, but even a Battle Royale. Like, I would hate that so much if they added that to the finals, but I think it would bring a lot of new players in, which would probably help in the long run, but who knows. Next point, we need more events, bruh. During Season 1 and 2, we had all sorts of... It was like every 2 weeks we had the Steal the Spotlight, we had the Cowboy event, we had the Valentine's event. Like, we're literally... It was crazy if we went a month without an event, and there has not been an event in Season 3. We're currently like 2 weeks away from the end of season... We're currently like 2 weeks away from the end of the season, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember a single event in Season 3. There was the Biker Helmet Community event, but I don't think there was a single, like, do quests in this limited time mode to get skins event like we had so many of earlier. So bring those back, bro. I don't know why they're tripping, but those are some of the coolest parts of the game, in my opinion. Also, with that, have more Twitch drops. Same thing. We had Twitch drops every 3-4 weeks. There would be a new one for all of Season 1, and then it slowed down a little bit in Season 2, I remember. I did complain about that at the end of Season 2, I remember, in that vid. But, alright, and the last point I wanted to mention is have more lore drops, and, like, those videos that we were getting all the time in Season 1 and during Season 2, the, like, CNS hacking, and, dude, like, the lore in Season 2 went crazy. We were getting new videos, before, like, with the updates every 2 weeks. Once again, Season 3... 0 videos, 0 lore, 0 anything. Like, bring the lore back, bro. We want the lore. Well, bro, that was a lot of bitching, but I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Obviously, I have a pretty intense passion for this game, and I don't want to come across as like a dumb, whiny loser, but I just think some of this stuff needed to be said. I can still see a path where this game becomes a wildly successful titan of the industry, and I'm optimistic, but to say that we're in a rough patch right now would be putting it lightly, for sure. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Am I overreacting? Am I underreacting? Is the game already dead? Is it the best game in the world, let me know, bro. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We will actually be right back on that grind tomorrow, though. So if you'd like to follow along, make sure to like and subscribe, or you're a stupid idiot. We will actually be shaving the dome bald at 1K, so tap in already, bruh. But other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Slop out.
Sticking out your yacht for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. You're so Phantom Tax. I just wanna be your Sigma. Free